Well, for losers finals.
Yeah, Zomba not trying to rush and throw out any sort of secondaries, any sort of creative characters that he may feel like is better or prone for the matchup into Mr.Zercon. It is all R.O.B and presumably all R.O.B from here on out. I mean, Zercon trying to play the art of trying to play the part of Bonk from last week, trying to get Zomba out at third.
And you know a really funny thing in this matchup?
Hit me.
You can only have one gyro in existence time for each R.O.B. So
yes.
If that gets pocketed, we're going to have a bad time. Also, it's worth noting that if gyro is pocketed, laser becomes a lot more potent of a threat. So pocketed laser could become a thing. Normally, I don't like to highlight pocket as a value against projectiles because I don't think it shifts the dynamic of the matchup too much. Here, though, it does affect how Zomba is going to be able to control space. Especially as laser manages to take space from afar and netting the first stock here.
Yeah, I wonder if Zercon is being a little bit more stingy with some of these pocket placements. I mean, it is so important because R.O.B doesn't always have constant access to his projectiles, with the gyro needing charge and sometimes left on the straight on the field, and laser needing plenty of charge time in and of itself. But I mean, solid placements can overcome all of that. On top of R.O.B's incredible scrapping tools and larger hitboxes than Isabelle, it makes for a amazing two-pronged attack as we see the arm rotor close out on the neutral getup.
I think the big thing here is seeing how Zomba can take space from a mid or long range with gyro in tandem with laser. Seeing them back-to-back is what often results in very successful long-range pressure from Zomba. And I think if one of those options is just not available to him, you're going to have to see him struggle a little bit. But Zercon only just now getting himself on the board. It's going to take a bit of, I think, time. This is a matchup where you're willing to play out as passively as you need, build up into those strong defensive positions where Isabelle's at her strongest, and find the answers, because right now you need them desperately. Just barely managing to survive off that forward smash, but still at high percentage on last stock. It's not looking too good in game one.
I like how Zomba's just walking forward. I mean, R.O.B's walk doesn't look much different than his run, but the slower pace gives away that Zomba's waiting for these parries on the slingshot, which is an excellent counterplay to a character that can have a hard time getting around such a frustrating option. I mean, R.O.B's big body always worms its way into matchups one way or another, and Zomba usually does a pretty good job of mitigating that, his potentially one and only weakness.
You know, as much as I look to goof on R.O.B for his size and the lack of weakness, this is a matchup where I think it's very hard to do so, because there's so many little ways that R.O.B makes the matchup annoying for Isabelle. From having a multitude of tools that disregard the Lloyd Mine, to being able to pressure out Isabelle regardless on if gyro is pocketed or not, having really good close range buttons, and of course arm rotor is just a great way to secure ledge play. When Isabelle thrives at that ledge, like, the pros just start to significantly outweigh the cons in this specific matchup alone. But Zercon not deterred just yet. At 183, managed to tie up the stock count and promptly get exploded as we move on to game.
At the very first hitbox of neutral air, which actually brings into an interesting point for R.O.B in a matchup like this. Isabelle can make herself extremely hard to grab, and it's not been often that Zercon, with the exception of the Jackal set, because of how quickly Wolf can maneuver around the airspace, Zercon has not been finding themselves grabbed frequently at all. And that takes away some of R.O.B's best kill confirms or kill setups in both the down throw berry and the up throw at super high percents, like we would find ourselves in that game one.
While that may be true, I do think this is a matchup where you do start to see a lot more value out of the boxing tools from R.O.B. Like, we're seeing Nair used so much more, and on top of that, down tilt, forward air, forward tilt. Like, these are just good buttons that you're able to use while Isabelle's struggling to just get R.O.B off her.
one of, if not the best thing about R.O.B, just being able to modulate your game plan so effectively, from keeping characters at a distance with your quick pokes and long-range offensive options, to how scrappy you can be as a grappler, to the plenty of nair combos and everything that comes with it. And there's that grab into the up smash, finally finding one off the roll in, granting Zomba yet another early lead.
Zomba seems to just have a really strong concept of what type of space to keep and how to force Zercon out of his comfort. And I think with the pick to town and city, there's supposed to be a lot of wide space for Isabelle to be able to maneuver around that. But that space is very hard to call comfortable when you have to deal with laser from afar and then a Zomba quickly rushing in to down tilt you behind that laser.
Behind these gyros as well. The B-reverse gyro has been covering so much, being able to mix up just how well, being able to close the gap just as much as Zercon wants to make that space. Going with just a raw dash grab. It's going to be huge for Zercon if he's able to find something like an up air here, but respecting R.O.B's nair, you have to do it. Instead, looking for the trap setup instead with that Blade Rocket.
Laser doesn't find a home. One interesting adaptation I've noticed from Zomba is how he's trying to take this battle to the sky. I think it's a really good way to make use of the platforms on TNC. And also, it's starting to mitigate the pressure of Void Mine a tiny bit. Also taking advantage of the fact that Isabelle doesn't have the best of jumps. All of that back air and forward air pressure doesn't mean much if it takes a long time for Isabelle to actually get there and put out the move.
Yeah, entirely fair. There he goes, up into the starry night sky, but the down tilt ends up blowing up Zomba for an attempted punish out of spot dodge. Oh, doesn't get the air dodge, looking for the follow-up, but a great fastfall from Zercon keeps them alive. Just hounding with these slingshots, like, get back, foul beast.
I mean, there's a lot of space to hit there when it comes to the short hop and full hop slingshots that we've been seeing.
Oh yeah, that is absolutely.
Also, Zercon doing the little zip around with the down B cancel. Didn't do him much, but I always love seeing the advanced side. Cute.
It helps somehow.
It looks cute.
It's nice.
You actually could do stuff with it. It's just I'd be hard pressed to see it when all this pressure is just looming down you. Like Zomba with gyro in hand trying to press you towards the ledge, and you're not comfortable being at the ledge just yet. Your Lloyd Mine doesn't manage to do much, and outside of base projectile pressure, like, this has been Zomba's set. It's Zercon fighting to stay alive. So going for the cute stuff isn't going to be doing too much for him right now.
Okay, just going for the usual stuff ends up being what is helpful, but Zomba not flinching with the roll in, able to find down tilts and the grabs, covering the platform with up air. This tripod layout has been so good for Zomba, but he needs to close it out soon before he lets Zercon put something together. The pivot cancel, F tilt off the down tilt. A cheeky trick, but not something that resulted in the stock, and a great tech afterwards, and another one.
That one actually saved him. Okay, that one got him. There was no need for all of this assault, but hey, just one way to do it.
Yeah,
all right. So
I mean, the stock's over.
Like,
here.
we're fine. Yeah. All right, now it's really gone. Okay, now it's like not gone. Okay, now it's really gone.
Crit the eye too. Like, honestly, just
he tried.
He tried
for effort.
Nice.
Like, I'm a fan of Zer. I like seeing Isabelle, and like I said earlier, there's not a lot of Isabelle, so it's always a treat whenever Zercon pops out, either the fusion or DNA. But sometimes you just get it handed to you like that. Like, that was just that game 2 was really good Zomba play, and now we are treated to more Zomba play as he moves along to grand finals to get his run back against Apple.
Here we are again.